Welcome to the channel viewers. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thanks for coming by, I appreciate it. Just going to do sport, some winging, hydrofoil winging, wing foiling, wind winging. Hang on a sec. Many of you have been through a breakup and there hasn't been you haven't been given a reason for it. You knew things weren't quite right. There had been some dramas, there had been some conflict. You were sensing that there was something going on that you didn't know about. You were battling with some demons within yourself, some insecurities within yourself. Once upon a time in the relationship, you'd be going for walks, walking along the pathways and walking through the park. You'd sit together and have a milkshake or drink together and talk and spend time together and lay together in the park. Then all of a sudden things start to shift around a bit and you go with the flow, but you realise, you say to yourself, what are these spaces, what are these gaps in the relationship that I'm starting to experience? What are these gaps? And you begin to wrestle a bit with yourself. You start to ask the question, like, where are you spending your time? Like, why aren't we talking much anymore? Or you'll ring them up and they'll be at an event and they never mention the event. And they'll tell you who was there and you'll go, well, why didn't you tell me about that? And the fact of the matter of it is, they didn't want you to know about it. They didn't care if you were there or not. They'd finished seeing you for that time. You see, a lot of people can only be with you for a certain amount of time and then they start to turn in on who you are. They start to get tired of being around you, and then when they go away, they reset, they refresh, like refreshing a page on a computer screen. And if you can't tell that that's the sort of person that you're with, you'll smother them. And things just won't go the way that you would expect them to. They just don't. It doesn't work that way. Not all people are able to have a strong, healthy relationship that endures long durations of time together. That's why when COVID struck and people were locked away together, separation rates were at an all-time high. Because the people that were together actually probably didn't even like each other. And the result of that was separation. And so you start to notice that the person that you're with isn't really all that interested in spending too much time with you over and above just casual visits. And they're pretty happy with all that. They seem to be pretty happy with all of that. But you begin to feel a little bit out of sorts with the absences. You ring up and they've possibly gone to a concert. They didn't tell you. They might have, been down the coffee shop with some friends. And it's not all about being with these people all the time or being nosy, but if you're dating somebody and you feel like you're just being left out, so a lot of these people have very strong, deep lives with their children as well, and you can't conflict with that. That's not fair. You have to give way to that. That's not an issue. But you notice that they're coming and they're staying with you casually, given by circumstance. But something just doesn't sit right. Something just doesn't feel right about the input that you're receiving from the person that you're intimate with. You notice that you're ringing them more than what they don't even usually ring you or text you. And if they did, it's starting to, the gaps between each text or each phone call are becoming wider, broader. There seems to be an element of boredom in doing that from the other person. You begin to have conflicts within yourself as to what is the true nature of the relationship. Now, for many people, a casual relationship's perfect. It gives them the opportunity to live out their life while the other person's living out their life, and there's intimacy in between. But this is where it falls down. This is where it falls over. The problem with it is you are disenabling your ability to stay with your partner over a long-term basis. You're weakening your cohabitational skills by way of convenience, by way of negligence. And these skills will get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And then you might meet somebody that wants to be close like you were once, because now you've weakened yourself to a point where you've become one of these people that just is only able to spend the Friday night together or the Saturday or whatever. And then you're better off with that person gone. Because underneath it all, you're really just a convenience for each other. And now you've met somebody that was or is the way you were, but you can't line up with them now because you allowed yourself to be disenabled by a person that was the way you are. And this is what's happening throughout our communities now. I sit with men all the time that are, pretty tough guys. Come and sit and talk to me about the relationship troubles they're having. Like real incredible stories that you think, are you people actually adults, or usually connected with some kind of drug or alcohol fueled nonsense and rubbish? These people are in psychological debt anyway before you start, because they can't function on their own. It's lovely to be with people that you can spend time with that are able to just function naturally aspirated, which means without any assistance from drugs or alcohol and things like this. It's a whole different realm, because the dope users and the drinkers and all those types, you don't see it, but behind the scenes they have incredible conflicts amongst each other, terrible conflicts amongst each other they have. And these conflicts are usually associated with the self-medication substances they're taking as a way of being able to have peace within themselves. I've spent countless hours with partners that have self-medicated and this kind of thing, and they just don't seem to be able to work out because their life, a large part of their life, is associated with their need to spend time with their substance. And if you're not a person that's taking that substance or involved with substance taking, or another form of it is they're enmeshed with their children, they want to spend too much time with their children, and you're not accustomed to that, then you better have hobbies and things that you're able to do if you want that relationship to stay together, because it won't. The negligence associated with the alcohol, drug, nicotine, other substance uses will tax the relationship and the need that you have for them. So be aware, you may be disenabling your ability to, your heart towards what you want to put into your relationship, because you've spent time with somebody that is negligent in that way, and you have received trauma from that but became like that. That's the consequence of what happens when you try and have a relationship with someone that has priorities that aren't as important as a relationship, but they give credence to them. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, out.